My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Roguebook. Okay, not Aurora and Shara. That's what we know off the absolute top here. Not going to play Aurora and Shara for the old blood tithes, so on and so forth. Hey, hang on. I can unlock one of these, can I not? I can. Defend, socket or replacement increases the chance that a replace card has an extra socket by 3%. Now, we are going with, whenever you purchase things, take 5 damage on both characters. We're going also with less map visibility. And what is the final one? Sorry, it's less map visibility in terms of not having sky towers, instead having more runes of sight. What's the final one? It's those two, and enemies gain an extra power each turn. Yes, of course. So I feel like we definitely want Sifa.
Don't waste my time.
Right? Sifa wants to take damage, wants to gain rage, wants to stand in front and the enemies get stronger, has a lot of opportunities to just overwhelm an enemy suddenly. The second being Aurora still does make sense here.
Would you like some tea?
Aurora also has access to self-heals, courtesy of, like, her teapot. Like, she'll just be able to do it fine by herself. Has some ally synergy that may matter with Sifa. Sifa's got a lot of the defense on lock, although it's expensive. Aurora has energy generation. These kinds of things all seem to be pointing the direction of Aurora Sifa for these combos. Blood Tithe Rising Fervor, and 1,000 Eyes. Let's get about it. Morning, y'all. Oh, I'm so happy to be starting up today. I mean, like, okay, not morning. It is 5:30 p.m. And I did sleep in late.
I don't want to see
But to be fair, my recording in the morning was cancelled. So I had the ability to sleep in late whenever this hero plays an ally. So Aurora generates allies but doesn't play as many.
Very well.
Scholar Shard is incredible. Focus Prism's fine. Sturdy Shell, whenever the hero takes damage, gain 5 block. Alright. And Nadam's Purse. Items at Nadam's shop cost 1 less for each card in your deck. Oh, now I'm incentivized to try and get as many cards as possible, as well as not buy anything from Nadam yet. Okay, well, first off, let's be clear about a thing. Phantom Strike. Back when I made the video where Phantom Strike, I was attempting to utilize it, I made the point that I thought that due to the way this card was written, at the end of your turn, if Sifa took damage, add this to your hand from deck or discard pile, that regardless of whether or not you'd played the card that turn, that was still going to occur. Now, there were a lot of arguments in the comments, which I think are totally legitimate as well, by the by. This is not me, like, refuting everyone and, you know, sweeping you aside. It's more like the ambiguity of the way the mechanics work in the game leads to discussions like this, where, you know, everyone can be right about how they think it's going to occur. However, I can say that Phantom Strike was patched to then work in the way that I'd assumed that it otherwise would have. Phantom Strike is one card that has a global modifier on it that is affected regardless of whether or not it's being played, or even if it's in your hand. There are a few others. Things like the dancing cards, the card that gets more power each time you swap in combat. You don't have to have that card in hand. You don't have to have played that card that turn in order to actually trigger it. Windstorm Colossus. You don't have to play 12 cards when the Windstorm Colossus is in hand to then be able to play it afterwards. But there is one in Sifa's set as well. I think it's called Sifa's Wrath. And it says on it, whenever Sifa becomes enraged, put this into your hand. It does 4 damage. So the only way that card makes any sense to exist is if it can be pulled from anywhere, regardless of whether or not it's being played that turn, right? The idea of playing it for 4 damage and then becoming enraged on your turn, not a super common thing to happen, but it does happen, you know, a reasonable amount of the time. To get it back into hand to play it one more time, it seems like it's not a card that would exist, let alone be rare. However, It is a fair parallel to pull to Phantom Strike here. I'd love to get Phantom Strike, honestly. Whenever you damage more than a single enemy at a time with a single card, draw a card that costs 1 less this turn. I do like that. I do want to try and get some AoE in the deck. One thing we should probably do is check if we have any AoE in the deck. We do. Spinning Blade attacks all enemies for 4 twice. We also do have a Rage in the base deck as well. Gain Rage equal to the attack damage dealt. We've got a Wall of Mist, a little bit more AoE potability. Heck, speaking of AoE potability, we've also got Flood here. Potency, sorry, not potability. Yeah, we're about to drink all our enemies with this wall. I mean, kind of. There is also the Flood. Gain 3 block and reduce all enemies' power by 4 this turn. That is a very, very good card for this combination. So our average expenditure of energy per turn is like, 4, maybe 4.5. Our average generation of energy per turn is 3, right? So we're not hitting our max and those kinds of things. Like, do I want to start diluting this with 0 cost cards or energy gain? Those are the kinds of things that is a consideration towards the side of. Brimstone Needle. Sifa loses 5 life. Attack for 22. I really, really do want some self-damage on Sifa. I don't know if I want that yet. There's also the Primal Skull. There's also the Phase Stone. I don't think I'm going to buy anything just yet. Whenever you end your turn with no cards in hand, leading hero gains 1 courage. This is one of the things that then makes us consider what is the average energy expenditure, what is the average expected energy expenditure per hand and the energy gain per turn, right? Because if those are equal, suddenly probably it looks a lot more spiced. I think we'll just turn all this down for the moment. Good to see what's out there, though. Oh, Nadam's Purse is so far away. We should start using the Royal Link to go up in that direction. Use it to go straight through this normal battle, right? That's the straightest shot we can possibly make there. Also guarantees we get this normal battle, which is more inks to try and help us further up in that direction. I do want to try and get Nadam's Purse before I purchase anything from Nadam. However, that doesn't mean I can't purchase anything from different areas. We already have a couple different things pulling us in a couple directions, right? We've got Tiki Totem whenever this hero plays an ally, gain +1 power. And we've got a multi-strike in the base deck in Spinning Blade. As well as Rage once you have more power too. So powers on Sifa right now are quite... Sorry, not power. Allies. Constant effects on the board are allies, not powers. I don't know what game you're thinking of, perhaps. Interesting. Grim Siphon, Fate Weave, and Follow the Boss. Out of these, the one that I want is Fate Weave right now. Because at absolute worst, it has no impact. Positive, I could just I could put a Scholar Shard in that bad boy, right? You put a Scholar Shard in a Fate Weave, and it'll order it from top to bottom. So you'll draw 2 cards, put a card atop your deck, and then draw that card again. Which means if you have any of the Aurora cards that are on draw trigger this effect, it's the right kind of card to have. There is also Grim Siphon. It's attack for 20, and the upgraded version of it is heal for 20, dissolve. There's a deep appeal in that Grim Siphon as well. Follow the Boss, not so much. Fate Weave, we'll take right now. Unfortunately, Fate Weave doesn't actually really help us with any of our offense right now, so we're just going to go into a normal battle with what we have in the base deck. Hopefully we can heal up Sifa in this fight. From the 5 damage we just took courtesy of purchasing something. Yikes. Okay, we'll get Aurora back out front for this, definitely. This is a charging attack. And that can only be cast from range. Okay, so we have to quicken first, go to the back line, use our charging attack from the back line, go back to the front line, use a strike from the back line, and then Flood to get back to the front line, lower their enemy power, put Aurora out front to take the damage that is going to be healed at the end of the fight. This also sets us up for Siphon Soul to be able to kill that secondary target right now. Siphon Soul, sorry, Absorb Soul. Although our defense after that is going to have to be pretty good, so we'll use Wall of Mist and then siphon that soul. Perfect. Looks like we can get back to full HP by the end of this combat. Unless, of course, I end up taking this full 17 here, which was not unthinkably impossible. My damage output this turn is definitely not enough. Okay, we'll Fate Weave first. Drop a strike, because I know I'm never going to be casting that. I'll Flood from the back line. And then I've got to defend in a Wall of Mist. Actually, that will full defend us. Okay, Wall of Mist, defend. Nice. I'm gonna need you to take a turn off to try and bolster yourself in some fashion, friend, because I do not have enough damage to keep doing this. In fact, Aurora is gonna... Oh, God. Aurora's going down to 1 HP this turn. I mean, I'll immediately click on you, because I'm not letting you die this fight anyway. Oh, God. Quicken one more time. 12 and 11. That is actually lethal. Woo! Alright, we did get out of there with full HP. Good. Man, I'm starting to feel the actual, increased health of the enemies as well as their increased damage. Obviously, them getting 1 extra power per turn. Also pretty rough. Man, we really need more damage. Like, I feel like if I accept damage, right, if I let the enemies deal damage to me, so instead of playing a defensive card, I can play an aggressive card, because of the way they scale up, there are going to be some fights where taking that advanced damage is going to be just the correct option, right? And then just dunk the enemy with as many hits as I possibly can. So if that is going to be the case, then I need to find some hits with which to dunk. I mean, look, we're in the site's fine.
Interesting.
Yeah, not. I really wish it would, like, not try and find the edge of the map, because when do you have enough resources to go to the edge of the map for, what is usually nothing? That's just something that I would like as kind of like a small quality of life kind of feature right there, right? Like, is what's gonna discover something down here and I'm gonna go, oh, okay, perfect. Let me go all the way down here, use all of my resources to get that. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna be able to get anything else on the level, but I got this pile of 12 gold. 4 explode. I'll be 1 space away from Nardum in that case. I think I want to go buy another card. I'm looking for damage, especially. AoE damage would be nice. Flame Blast. Just a straight up attack for 14. Upgrades to attack for 20. I do like that. There's also Mark, attack for 5. The next attack against the enemy is a critical hit. I mean, we don't have giant hits specifically. There's also Intimidate here, permanently reduce an enemy's power by 3. Normal enemies gain power over time, however, bosses don't gain power over time here. Also worth noting, that is the Avatar of Mists. So we will deal bonus damage with our dissolve cards, but if we fail to block life damage from the enemy, they will dissolve cards from our deck. This is good, but I literally did just ask for the damage, and then the game gave it to me, and what am I going to do? Look at the damage and go, actually, I meant some different damage. Yes, this damage is not good enough for me. You need stronger damage, traveler. Okay, I already know how I'm going to handle this battle. How do I execute it, though? We start with Wall of Mist. Okay. Then I will Flame Blast you. Right. Then I'll Rage that target and Quicken back to the back. We have 7 cards in the deck. One of those cards is called Spinning Blades. If we play that now, we will just destroy all of the enemies because we're in Rage, so it'll strike 4 times. Oh, thank you, Fate Wave. It was literally the bottom card on the deck. Of course it was. Attack all enemies for 6, 4 times. Bye-bye.
I knew we would be fine.
Yeah, of course you did. I don't even doubt it. Explosive Pigment. Wow. I mean, here it's 24 spaces. but if I do it here, it's 25 spaces, and I get an Adam's Purse. I also get a hidden fairy. Well, I mean, look, I'm not going to complain about any of the occurrences of late. They're all good. So now I need to find dense areas for other brush usages. I mean, I don't want to come down from there. I'm leaving the Radiant Heart there to pick up later, because sometimes I get too many inks in here, and then I have to throw away Radiant Hearts, and I definitely never want to throw away a Radiant Heart in this challenge specifically. Do any more of them discover more than 12 spaces right now? No. 12's our best utilization, despite the fact that it's in not a great position. It is getting us closer to both of those normal battles. I mean, I'll take it. Yeah, I'm still not doing it, game. You actually cannot make me go there. 8? Like an 8 to discover that? A 7 to discover that? Yikes. There's a 9 over here that gets us to a normal battle. Looks like the best one we have. Yikes! At least we found one fairy well so far. If we quicken, we can get double dip damage out of that bad boy right there. I should maybe be worrying about their specific totals, right? Like, can I hit 24 without too much excess? Got 30 damage in hand right now. 23 on these two. All of misdefend. I probably want to put something aggressive back atop the deck right now. So I think I'll Fate Weave and put a Strike back up there. So I'm spreading the damage because in all likelihood I can kill that frontline target next turn, but if I can use an AoE card to kill it next turn, that is going to be far better off for us overall. Oh, you're kidding me. I messed up, didn't I? Yep. 23. 23. This is so annoying. So if I had inverted the attacks I did and did exactly the same attacks against the opposite targets, I would have the ability to eat this Rebel Slinger with a Strike and an Absorb Soul. Oh, but then I would never be... wait. No, I can only kill one target this turn anyway. Right? Yes. No, I would have needed another card to be... Yeah, okay, never mind. We're fine. We're fine. Ish. Yeah, as fine as taking 19 damage there and then God. I mean, I have to use my rage to actually finish the fight now, don't I, as well? Yeah, there's no way around that. I can't block enough. Ouch.
Is that it?
All right, we gotta get some extra health for that bad boy right there. Precision Ink's good. In fact, I'll get one space there and then pop for 14. 14's a pretty good pop right there. Change Roguebook. We've also got Alchemist and another Vault of Wisdom. Let's go to an Alchemist and transform a Sifa card. I don't really want to transform Sifa's defense. I do have 2 charges. Those put me back in the front line, but it's not like I have a huge amount of defense in this deck already. I mean, the card that I actually most want to transform is Quicken. Or Strike. Probably a base Strike for Aurora. Oh, man. This is difficult. That Windfall looks really good with the Snipe Stone in it. double ranged, so if it's in the back line, it's cast for 1 energy, gains 3 energy for having done so. It also has another slot in it, in which I could theoretically put draw a card, although I am leaving draw a card open to possibly going to the Fate Weave if I find the right kinds of cards for Aurora. Speaking of the right kinds of cards for Aurora, we may not find them here, because instead we've got Rage Mind, Drain Strength, and Promote. Promote gives an aggressive ally Force Spirit and then summons a Brute. It doesn't play a Brute, so it doesn't trigger the Tiki Totem, and it has to have a Brute on the board or something on the board to buff first. I can't take it unless I know I'm going to get allies. But maybe I do know I'm going to get allies. The problem is it is contending against Rage Mind, draw 4 cards, see if it loses life equal to your hand size. It's a rough downside. It's a rough downside. And Drain Strength. Charge, reduce an enemy's power by 4 for 1 turn, heal 4 life, dissolve. 100% the kind of thing that I need right here, right now, right here, right now. I want to get as many cards in the deck as well before I even visit Nardum again. Do I pop a... No, I don't pop a Radiant Heart before we go into another fight here. Maybe if I didn't have any AoE in the deck at all, then maybe. Okay. Let's go Flame Blast. Absorb Soul. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Reduce an enemy's power. Can't reduce yours, unfortunately. I fall for 1 turn and heal 4 life, dissolve. Yeah, I'll just take that. Effectively, if I heal 4 life and you deal 6, I defended for 4, right? Keep the windfall for a turn that needs it. I mean, this is possibly the most defensive hand that I am capable of having. That's vulnerability, I think. As long as it's not weaken, we're fine. Yeah, it's not weaken, it's trip. Forgot about that. That's fine. Trip just means a more expensive cast, but we do have the windfall in hand, which makes more expensive casts even easier for us. Okay, windfall. Then quicken my way to the back line and then cast Spinning Blade for 8 damage to all enemies twice. Sounds good. Also... Oh, I haven't got the thing that allows me to... Yeah, it's in the shop. I haven't even bought it yet. Oops, I was expecting to draw a card there. Of course I wasn't going to draw a card there. That makes total sense. I'll rage my way back to the front line. Allowing me then to flood. Okay, so I want to absorb soul, front line, and next turn. Ultra defend, and then absorb soul the second liner as well. Try and get some useful healing out here. Okay, so the best way for us to do that is actually Walled Mist afterwards, because Aurora can take damage here. Just gonna full heal with the teapot after the fight anyhow. Okay, so a single Wall of Mist is already good enough here. Well, so is a single Absorb Soul though. Nice. Oh, that was so good. We actually got back up to a pretty reasonable amount as well. Stardust Pigment. Honestly incredible. It gives you so much extra reach. Like if I use it here, here, I can then use one single Precision Ink. I get both of these normal battles, and I've discovered a whole bunch of space. I'm relying then on this brush and these 2 inks to allow me to get over to the Sturdy Shell, which I think is still, I think that's pretty reasonable. Just a lot of space to reveal without finding almost anything. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We found an alchemist earlier, and one farrier. Okay, Flame Blast in the front line is no damage right now, but if I move to the back line instead, we upgrade that bad boy all the way to 14. Can I please get Absorb Soul here? It's a hard no from the video game. Understandable, although disrespectable. I'll defend my way to the front line and then flood my way back. Okay, Absorb Soul for the back line this time, please. Thank you. Wait a second. It charges us to the front line, so it won't do all that damage. Okay, here's how we do it. We quicken our way to the back line. Then we Windfall. Then I Spinning Blade, heal up 8 there. I'm just going to take a 24. I mean, look, someone was going to take a 24 that turn and it would have killed Aurora, so I feel like this is probably the best way to do it. Enemies powered by 8 until the end of the turn. I would really love to just do this for damage, though. Let's flood you to the front line. Oh, but Rage is charging as well. Oh, they're both charging. Take as much HP as I can get off of you. Thank you for the second free turn here. Doesn't really feel well earned, but appreciate it regardless. Should have attacked with the strike from the backline with Aurora earlier. Let's defend. If I'm ever going to Windfall, I Windfall now, so we Fate Weave first, seeing if we get anything that really baits that Windfall. Honestly, yeah, kinda. Then Windfall. Flame Blast can be played from the back line. So we Rage. Flood you back to the front. Wall of Mists with you. Flame Blast from behind. This enemy's really rough here because it's a normal enemy, the Seed Sower. It just has the permanent aura of weakness and it's got so much HP. So it stays on the field until it's, you know, until its power is 11, as the case currently is. So you could attack with a 9 strike from behind. This could theoretically end up being a 12, 9, 12, 21. Still short. Charge our way into weakness, unfortunately. Like, quickening Aurora to the back line and then using a strike there is the best way to get the damage out of the strike, right? That's 9 with 1 energy, putting Sifa in the front line, unfortunately meaning that the spinning blades afterwards are really rough. I could defend before I quicken, but then the problem is, unless I use Absorb Soul, Sifa's going to be in the back and then Aurora dies. Weakness! Yeah. There's no two ways around this one. Defend Aurora to the back. You attack for your 9. Alright, 8, 9, 17, still not enough. 12, 9, 21, still not enough. Well, I really hope that I get the Absorb Soul at the start of the next cycle, because otherwise Actually, I can... Oh, I could have waited, but we did get absorbed soul. Great. I mean, fine. I mean, okay. I mean, we'll survive. Let's just keep on tamping that one back until it's reasonable. All right, not him. I wonder if I can get enough cards in the deck to just buy everything. 300 cards in the deck, not gonna happen. 50 cards in the deck? Maybe. Primal Skull and Phase Stone. Primal Skull turns this when in ranged to a 5 cost. But it's a 5 cost that then gives us 11 energy. Without a ridiculous amount of draw, there's no way I end up using as much as that's given us. I might just have to buckle up and take Phantom Strike. Attack for 15. At the end of your turn, if Sifa took damage, add this to your hand from the deck or the discard pile. And I may just need to take that because Sifa is just taking damage right now. I also don't have much block, right? It's not like I've been avoiding block that's been offered to us, and I'm looking very heavily at that Flood now as well. The other Flood has functioned, I think it's fair to say, above and beyond the Call of Duty for us. And then Phantom Strike is just powerful damage, available quite consistently. If I could get another gem that feels pretty good with it, I'd be happier to take it, but I think I should just take it anyway. Taking Flood. Talent tier is unlocked. Loyal Minion. Start each battle with a Brute. Just 5 damage every single turn goes that Brute. There's also a Sagacity over here. Aurora gains 4 life. Healing, excess healing is dealt as leading damage to the leading enemy instead. Oof. At the end of each battle, gain 1 gold for every 2 cards in your deck. We have 2 different things incentivizing us, to get as much gold as possible right now. Honestly, Expert Looter doesn't feel bad. Sagacity is nice. It's probably pronounced Sagacity, right? Like sage, like being sage and such. Run like the wind. It's a word that I've only ever read. All right, I'm gonna go Expert Looter. I think I will still take Phantom Strike also. I don't think I put the draw gem in anything just yet. Honestly, like putting Focus Prism and Draw Gem into Fate Weave, you draw 2 cards, put a card back atop your deck, draw another card, and then draw a card, and then discard a card. It's gonna be so good, specifically once I find a card that matters at all to happen with. I'm gonna pop a Radiant Heart here, because I am quite threatened right now. Okay. What do you go for us, bud? Ooh, the perfect opening hand. Yeah, no, I think I'll accept that one, actually. My good gosh. Actually, you know what? I should have put one of them back atop the deck. I've just over-defended for this hand. Oops. Yeah, I should have put Wall of Mist back atop the deck there. Would have been the correct way about it. I'm gonna really pay for that next turn, aren't I? Yeah, and I totally deserve it. Never mind, we got another Flood in the deck. It's totally fine. I totally planned it the entire time. You can't say I didn't. You don't know. I mean, I didn't, but you don't know that. Wait, I just told you that, you say. Okay. Well, can we forget that? I should have left Aurora in front here also. Unfortunately, played the cards in the wrong order to get that there. Hello, Phantom Strike. So we have 6 cards in hand here because at the end of the last turn, Sifa took damage. Phantom Strike put itself into hand from the draw pile. Part of the reason I thought that it was going to function like it did is because it says from deck or discard pile, right? So when do you put it back into your deck after casting it? And I ask this because the gems that say shuffle this back into your deck after casting it do not do that. They put it in your discard pile and then they put it in your deck afterwards. I think they do that right now. Oh my god. It's hard to keep track of inconsistencies in this game. This is why I'm so pleased to see more and more of them being removed. It's like a trust issue eventually, effectively. Oh man, Quicken into Spinning Blade. Sets up for Absorb Soul. Love it. Incredible combat right there. Ended up just giving us a bunch of HP back, gave us a bunch of resources. Beautiful. Another Noble Ink. Okay, so then we've got that Elite Battle out there. We've got basically wide open areas everywhere else. So a 4 from here and then a single brush. That's actually pretty efficient. And then I would be able to keep a ink and a precision ink for the next area. All I would have to do in order to be able to do that is fight the Elite Battle now-ish. I don't actually really feel like I'm kitted extremely well right now. I want to see more Vaults of Wisdom. But I think I can probably survive it. Okay. I'll retain the Windfall in hand because I'm not going to need to cast all of these. I'll Flame Blast the frontliner, stunning the backliner, preventing them from buffing on this turn. I'll take a single defend action also, and just a Strike and Spinning Blade. Both against the backliner. Hold Windfall in hand for later. Pretty aggressive turn from the Voice of Hunger. Do I have the ability to defend against it? Yeah, that's a hard no. So instead, I'll stun you. You might attack for something related to power next turn. So I'm going to put a Drain Strength back atop the deck to be able to counter any multi-striker like that. There we go. So we'll start with Flood. And continue with Drain Strength. Probably time for a Windfall here because I do want to use Wall of Mist as well as Quicken and Rage. Wall of Mist should be the final thing that I do, right? Yes. Quicken, Rage. Wall of Mist. Alright, max damage turn ideally. Oh, Sifa, you should have taken damage last turn so that I could get the guaranteed Phantom Strike here. I probably want to put some defense back atop the deck for the next turn, I feel like. Let's get the maximum damage out there. If that wasn't there, this would be 8 damage, and then the Absorb Soul is 24. 8, 24 is 32, still would have been short. I mean, it's defend, flood, defend, or defend, defend, flood. Right, defend, defend, flood, and then Aurora's in the front line, and then we put the pop back out. No, we just accept this damage on Sifa, and we'll also take the Phantom Strike back into hand as a result. Comes back into hand with maximum damage as well, so it makes it a lot easier. Wow, I was about to say a lot easier to clear this fight, but the game seems to be conspiring against us. That is okay. I'm conspiring right against you back. This is now up to 37 damage attack.
That's one for the books.
The rogue books, that is. Oh my god. I just had a moment where I was like, wait a second, am I recording my audio? We are. It's all good. Start each battle with 8 block. Good pickup right there. Absolutely what we might call a good pickup. Golden Fairy. I do like money. I also do like that Vault of Wisdom being right there. Whenever this hero takes damage, gain 5 block. Sounds like a good thing to go on Sifa. Sifa also may want the Brimstone Needle available in the store because it deals 5 damage to us, but it also gives us 5 block, but it also puts Phantom Strike in our next hand. So if we would have otherwise taken 5 damage, it's actually just strictly positive. Using terms like strictly positive in a card game is really, really rough because sometimes, you know, even the most usually typically strictly positive things have an edge case where they aren't. So I try and avoid saying it, even if there is like a colloquial meaning of it. You know, in the kind of like literally being a modifier rather than literally the worst thing. Just jumping back and forth in the way that I want to utilize them. All right, let's try and get you. That's a very defensive hand, friend. Hey, that's not much less. All right, I'm actually, I didn't think I was going to have any trouble with the amount of damage that I'm going to need to output in this fight, but I'm suddenly actually quite worried. There's not many dense turns of attacks after this point, so is the time to windfall. $18. There is an Absorb Soul left in there, isn't there? There is, but I'm gonna need that Flame Blast. Come on. Thank you. Oh, okay, never mind. It worked out perfectly. We got all the gold, all the health, all of this Vault of Wisdom, which has Seer, Sulfuric Barrier, and Ignite. Oh god, that's really annoying. Seer is good. It's an ally that has 3 spirit, draws 3 cards, and then puts a card from your hand on top of your deck. Right? Card draw. It's card draw. There's also Sulfuric Barrier, which is actually defense, which is something we're still lacking in this deck. And then there's Ignite, which is rage gain that turns into AoE. 2 things that we also do want in this deck. It's also 0 cost, which actually is something we slightly want in this deck too. Both of these characters have way to get card draw that actually is probably better than having... Okay. Both of these classes have ways to get card draw that, whilst it may not be better than the Seer, obviously being able to activate it every turn is pretty nice. You know, after you've played it the first time, you can even activate it on that turn. It's good, right? But what the Seer has to compete against is the fact that we have, in both of these characters, the ability to find more draw without extreme difficulty. However, I am currently lacking defense. I am currently lacking rage gain. And these are more limited, right? Because I can find draw in Aurora, I can find draw in Sifa, I can find draw in artifacts. I cannot really find this in anything except for Sifa, and I can only really find this card. Well, this card is most incentivized by the fact that we need it right now. I think we do have to take the sulfuric barrier. I'm not happy about it, but I think we have to. Coming back to Nardum, we have a whenever you damage more than one enemy with a single card, draw a card. It costs 1 less this turn. I will happily take any AoE that I can find. I really want the Garrodon's Talon here. I also do want the Yak Hide. Actually, I might not be able to get all of these. Because I also want the Brimstone Needle. Let's take the Brimstone Needle. Yeah, definitely can't take Yak Hide and Garrodon's Talon. There's not that many AoE cards for the rest of these characters. Like, Spinning Blade is one of the main AoE cards for Sifa. It's one of the reasons I was really happy to see it at the start. I'm going to take the Yak Hide. Honestly, again, it is just about the fact that we are lacking defense. Then pick up a Radiant Heart here. Could I even theoretically... No, I can't theoretically even make my way over there. 1 Radiant Heart from there, 1 Radiant Heart from here. I'll pop a single Radiant Heart before I go in. Like, we're going in with almost max HP to the boss fight here. With Aurora and Shara, we were going in with, like, 11 each. We'd used 1 Radiant Heart and had none left. We'd hard expended all of our resources. Like, obviously, there's individual differences between runs, but it feels pretty demonstrative that this run is already in a still fine position before going to this boss, whereas the other was not. Capital N, nah. Okay, we do want to make sure that we end this turn with Aurora in front. We're going to want to end as many of our turns as we possibly can with Aurora in front so we don't lose power on the character that's actually doing the damage. So Flood, Quicken, Spinning Blade. Maybe I put the Drain Strength back atop the deck here. Wait, no, it should have been Wall of Mist. And Flood has to happen at the end of the turn. I'll Quicken, Spinning Blade, Absorb Soul back to the front, Flood back to the front. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We're gonna have to take some on Sifa here. Sifa taking damage this turn is pretty good. We get the Phantom Strike back in hand to the absolute least. I'd like the ability to put vulnerability on my enemies. Wait, is that not... Are there any cards that make your enemies vulnerable? God, my head is shiny right now. Let's not be the absolute shiniest head of all time. Alright, let's do the obvious stuff. Definitely using Rage. Definitely using Whirlwind. Definitely using Phantom Strike and Drain Strength and Defend. We take damage here. We get the Phantom Strike back in hand immediately. Hopefully we draw a Flood. We do not draw a Flood. Oh no. It's fine. I can actually block for a lot this turn. We use Phantom Strike first, then Brimstone Needle. I take 5 damage, gaining 5 Rage, giving us the ability now to use Sulfuric Barrier for 20 block, literally all of the incoming damage. Or I could attack for 29. Although I've taken damage this turn, so I think I will do the 28 block there. So that I already have the Phantom Strike back in hand from the... because I already have the Phantom Strike back in hand from the previous damage taking. Fate Weave feels like it should put a Flood back atop this deck. Use a Sulfuric Barrier, Rage, and then Flood, I think, here? Can't keep losing strength on Sifa. Eventually, that will just lock us out of the game unless we're in Rage constantly, which that's not a position we really want to be in. We can get Aurora to take this damage, just finish the turn with Flood at the end. I should also just deal as much damage as possible. So something like Brimstone Needle, Flame Blast, then Quicken and Flood? Still get our Phantom Strike draw. Alright. Defend at the front line, Windfall, and then just combo cast as much as we can. I mean, Spinning Blade for 4 is probably not worth the alternative of 6 defense. Alright, Phantom Strike. Go 32. Flame Blast. Fate Weave, I guess. Rage? Do I play Rage here? The Flood back atop the deck. I think I will play the Rage there, actually. Right now, I'm working Sifa's health all the way basically to 0 here. 18. 4. Quicken to the back line. 13 damage. Kill. Everyone gets their full heal because we've finished a boss fight and I'm left on just under enraged for the next combat Sifa should get into. This is difficult. This is incredible right now. This gives us some consistently ongoing damage, which feels pretty good right now. Not incredible. It would feel good if I had more multi-attacks, but it's not like you get a huge amount of multi-attacks on Sifa. You do get some, to be clear. You do get some. Not an incredible amount, though. Each ally gains a spirit. We have no allies so far. Although I do want to get allies, I don't know if I can confirm it. Energy is stored between turns, though, means that every time we draw this Windfall, we can just play it. We're keeping the energy anyway. A lot of the time, we are keeping it in hand and not really getting huge value out of it. If it drew a card, like, I could easily just put the Scholar Shard into it, and then all it is a +2 energy pump every time I cycle the deck, which is not bad. Great target to dupe after that. I'll take the Fairy Flute. Curious Biomancer. Ally Spiritless, when this is in play, retain your hand and store energy between turns. I actually may have taken that if not for the Fairy Flute, because Frenzy is also damned good. Attack the leading enemy for 5 times. Or 3 times if non-enraged has 2 slots in it. Promote 2 slots also. We will take the Binding Topaz though. Draw this at the start of each battle. Not sure what I'm going to modify with that though. Love that that's stacked with something I already had, otherwise I'm screwed. Crumbling Mask. Until your deck is shuffled the first time, gain an energy per turn. Quite easy for us to make advantage of. Because we don't have a huge amount of draw. Ooh, Boots of Alani, it's not a battle, draw 2 cards. That's also really important. Because we don't have a huge amount of draw, and we are incentivized to get more cards in the deck. Alright, Nodum. Hey! There's Sifa's Wrath. When Sifa becomes enraged, add this to your hand. Now, one thing that, like, they're currently working on, you know, functional bug fixes and stuff like that, but one thing I really do want them to do is also just standardize the way that certain things are written across all cards. The reason I ask is because something like Sifa's Wrath. Attack for 4. When Sifa becomes enraged, add this to your hand. However, Phantom Strike. At the end of your turn, if Sifa took damage, add this to your hand from deck or discard pile. This one seems to indicate to me what actually happens with it. This one doesn't as closely. Like, I understand this one because I understand the other one, and then also I've talked to people about how it works. Just things like that. Fodder. Ally aggressive. When this is destroyed, it deals damage to all enemies equal to twice this ally's spirit. You may sacrifice this. It is also just an aggressive ally. Something we get to play and get the power out of. There's Flesh Weave, Heal 7 Life Dissolve. Great. Definitely going into this deck. Aurora's Promise. All of the other cards, heroes cards, cost 1 less this turn. Because I just get to keep the energy from then on, there's no reason not to really take that. I probably will end up taking Aurora's Promise here. Probably not instantly, at least, though. Mighty Ruby. This card's attacks deal 5 damage. Or plus 5 damage, rather. I mean, look, that is, frankly, an absolutely key thing to put on a spinning blade. It's also good in Rage, to be clear. Rage getting you 5 extra from the damage itself, but the lack of AoE otherwise is heavily pushing me towards just putting that in Spinning Blade, even to the point of possibly just buying it right now and putting it in. Deal 5 damage to 0, they gain 1 power. That also wants to go into a Sifa card. Bloodfire Mask and Gauntlet of Might also both want to be wielded by Sifa. Like, all of those are huge upgrades to our, reasonable upgrades to our potential at the moment. I need to get a little bit more gold, though. So a 4 gets me, the 3 gets me here. Oh, I didn't keep the 4. A 3 gets me here, a single precision gets me here, and then I explode with a brush, getting the Boots of Alani as well as the normal battle. That's a really early boots. Heavily incentivized to try and do something like that. We'll have missed our way into almost a full block. In fact, yeah, very close. I should put Flood into the next hand. I don't actually really need it here. Oh, wait a second. No, I use Brimstone Needle, getting into Rage. Then I'll Quicken. This is now 24 in AoE, getting that backliner down. Throw out a Flame Blast, and now we're just the waiting room for the Absorb Soul. There it is. Hell yeah.
Is that it?
That's why I like leaving myself very near, but not at full rage, because then I have the ability to play cards that get me towards the card that I ultimately want to play whilst enraged. Nice little thing you get to do occasionally. Here I have to drop a Radiant Heart because these don't actually stack. See? So gotta discard the Radiant Heart. Didn't want to have to do something like that. It would have been nice to purchase some stuff before I did that. Damn. Actually, Kappa Study. Triton Banquet is nice. If I get other stuff, but Kappa Study. 100%. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't get me all the way there. I don't know why I thought it would. Does it get fewer dead spaces to move one forward? Not really. Oh, also, in terms... Ooh, Bargain Hunter. We've got Greed, gain 15 more gold per battle. Already far better than Expert Looter, which is only 15 gold if I have 30 cards in the deck. Longevity, At the end of your turn, Aurora heals like equal to your hand size. To be clear, the party things are usually less powerful than the individuals, right? And that's typical across a lot of games where, you know, things that are available to specifics rather than available generally are allowed to be slightly more powerful. Longevity at the end of your turn, Aurora heals life equal to your hand size. And then finally, Bargain Hunter, the shop charges 25% less gold. I think I'm just going on a gold run right now. I think that's just what we do and who we are. A bit of gold there too. A lot of these are getting a lot more playable. This puts a card in our opening hand. You know what might actually be really good in our opening hand? Binding Topaz into the Brimstone Needle makes sure that the second turn I will get my Phantom Strike. Right? But if I also put into that the Savage Fang, then on the first turn I take 10 damage on Sifa. I lose 10 life on Sifa. However, that instigates 2 damage triggers for the Sturdy Shell, giving us 10 block, in addition to our 8 block from the Diamond Shield, in addition to our 3 block from the Yakhide. Which means that on that opening turn, 11, 10, 21, we have 21 block, and we've only done aggressive things so far. That is a really good start. That's a really good start. I'll continue. Oh, no! 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 It's Phantasmal Might. It's exactly what I want, and it's up against Ritual Strike. Oh! Ritual Strike. Melee combo, attack for 10, gain 3 energy. Energy's actually not our concern right now. I probably shouldn't take it. Guide. Oh my god, we have Guide and Scholars. Guide is actually really good right now. I know Guide is apparently still broken, but apparently it's not broken if you put gems in it, is what I've been told, and it's also how it functioned last time I tried to do it. So, if I put a Scholar's Shard into Guide, the first time you play this each turn, return it to your hand. That is so much card draw! Okay, then the alternative is Phantasmal Might. Whenever you play or draw this, the other hero gains 2 power until the end of turn, right? And then we do Fate Weave things, we put it back atop the deck, we cycle it back, ha ha ha, do fun stuff like that. Honestly, with the amount of things that we want to put into this deck, we need more draw than we do, like, 2 specific cards that need to be in hand with one another to combo together. We're taking Guide.
I like this one.
I should be able to take a fight right now. I'm almost certain of it. Alright, that's good. Okay. So, you're the Rakoan Cannoneer. You are not the Yakapult. You don't intend to summon other Rakoans, so I don't have to keep the Spinning Blade for something like that. Kappa Study should only really be used if I don't have enough things in hand to really do that much, and I've literally got 2 attacks in here, so we'll Kappa Study. Okay, well, that's great. Let's immediately Windfall, throw a Fate Weave, see what we see. Drain Strength should probably be in the next hand. AoE makes sense to go there. Let's Phantom Strike, Flame Blast, Absorb Soul, Quicken, and then Spinning Blade. Not the absolute most damage you can deal on turn 1, but not too far from it. Oh, I didn't leave myself with any extra energy last turn. That's why that happened. Let's Drain Strength to go to the front line. Setting up for a free Guide. Adds itself back into hand. Good to see it. going to take damage this turn regardless. Okay. We'll defend. Use another guide. Yes. Means we do leave Rage and Brimstone Needle in the new cycle, though. Then Sulfuric Barrier. 14. No. I was seeing if there's ever a world where I swap Aurora back to the front, but no. Not necessary. Phantom Strike's 35 right now. At least we do have Kappa Study in hand, because we are going to need more cards. We know Windfall's also in there somewhere, which I can get with a Fate Weave right now. So the difference between base Flame Blast and the upgraded version is 16 damage. Difference in Phantom Strike is 20. So, excuse me, we'll be using Phantom Strike. And finally another 16 there. It's a lot of incoming damage. I can't really afford to use that Kappa Study this turn unless I know it's going to draw into something specific. So I'm putting it back atop the deck there. It's Flood. And Wall of Mist. And Sulfuric Barrier. My god. Rakoan Cannoneer, what are you actually doing though? Like, look! Oh, it's so much damage. I'm gonna need to go to heal to end this fight. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be the saddest man of all time. We should leave Absorb Soul in the draw pile right now. We use Quicken, Rage to get 10 Rage, set up for a later combat. I don't use Guide right now, despite the fact that it could draw me into the Absorb Soul, because it would have to draw exactly Absorb Soul and Windfall to be able to cast it this turn. I mean, how can I really hold it against the enemy that does perfect damage, you know? See if his life is not okay right now. I need to go buy that Dissolve in the shop. That Dissolve in the shop will get cheaper if I buy another card first. But then then Sifa is going to go into a fight with 10 HP.
I see.
I wish that found a heart. One energy per turn. That Crumbling Mask's also really good. Fighting that fight and then starting to launch up this line seems like the most efficient way. Fighting that elite fight is actually a good position for the Imperial Link then to go, but I don't want to have to do that. Could just use the Imperial Link here if I really wanted to get 7 tiles. It gets 7 tiles. Oh, it found a Radiant Heart and it also got a Gemstone. Good. But it also frees up space for us to then be able to pick something else up. It's important. Yep. We take these. Turn a big block card into an even bigger block card. I don't have anything that I get to play ultra much each turn, so yeah, just put that in there, just get some block. And take this Radiant Heart now. Then I said there were 2 purchases that I needed to make. Honestly, there are a lot more than that. Like the Gauntlet of Might and the Bloodfire Mask and all those kinds of things. Actually, if there's so many purchases that I need to make, I should make them all at once and then heal back up with Radiant Hearts afterwards. Okay. What are we, episode 16, 15, something like that in Roguebook series right now? Okay. We're at the point where I'm going to have to start thinking ahead in terms of the enemies that I am likely to fight. And while I won't have perfect knowledge of them, like I'm not going to always remember the gimmick in the fight. I'm not always going to remember the exact numbers. Obviously, I'm not going to remember that given the variable levels of difficulty and stuff like that. I should at least try and remember the gist of the fight and then kind of rank myself against it, so to speak, right? So like, Yakapult. How's Yakapult for us right now? Pretty rough. I don't have AoE. I've got AoE defense. I don't have AoE damage. I'm not going to get much more AoE damage. I'm going to push for Sifa to survive one more fight before I go for my purchases. And then I'm going to purchase, ideally, Gauntlet of Might, Bloodfire Mask, Mighty Ruby. So that's already about 300. As well as Flesh Weave. So the extra gold I'll get from finishing this fight. Oh, Savage Fang I also do want as well. I mean, like, many of those can come before the end of the entire run. But they don't... the floor, rather. But they don't have to come right now. The problem with doing that right now, though, is that I should use another ink first. I need that! Fagoro, you absolute dick. Alright. We're going straight for him. You give me that right back, mister. Okay. Use 1 precision ink to move 1 space forward. Pop that for 12. Ooh, get a narrative event there. Nice. Bridge the space. I'll take that back, thank you. At the end of each battle, this hero heals 4 life. Thank you, Fagoro. Ultimately, you've done us good here. Should I go to a narrative right now? Yes. Yeah, that's totally fine to do. This is the Forge. I'm not going to continually reread the event every single time that we see it. Socket a card of our choice or scavenge the gem pile. This was also changed in a update relatively recently. This was apparently heavily weighted to give you a common, but now it's slightly less weighted to just give you what is often trash. Not exclusively, but often. Lay a weapon on the Forge to get an extra socket. Something that you can triple socket is pretty good, though. So, I should think if any of these want to triple socket. Honestly, Guide with triple socket's actually kind of hilarious. I don't know what I would put in it. I could give it the draw discard. I'm going to have to make a lot of choices every time I play it, but I could totally give it that. Curate a perfect hand. Yeah. Wait. Okay, so it can only give a socket to a card that only has 1 socket, so you can't exceed, you can't go to 3. If I skip here, I'm pretty sure what it's going to do is just stop. It's just going to be like, okay, well, you didn't do that then. But I do need to know if I have the ability to actually back out and then do the other option for the future. So consider this science. Yeah, doesn't do anything. Okay. Yeah, I'm reverting to the original plan, which is, you know, get 1 more fight under my belt and then do everything else after. This one should be fine for us. It's Windfall, Kappa Study. We Kappa Study before we Fate Weave. Otherwise, we would Fate Weave, put a card back atop the deck, and then draw into the card we put back atop the deck, you know? There's the Spinning Blade. Let's Floods into Quicken. Spinning Blade for some good damage. I can absorb soul. I kind of want to, like, you know, leave these targets here to absorb soul on later. And I do have good draw in the deck now with the guide. So I'll leave the one that's not buffing this turn then. Because the other one, like, it's not dealing damage either, so it's fine. This debuff is a debuff to the front position. I also do wish that they would give us more information in the debuffs. Specifically, like, is it going to be a positional debuff? Like, is it going to affect the front line? And then, you know, I can swap heroes and it'll affect whoever is standing there. Or is it going to affect the character? Because that would give me a lot more information. Although, to be fair, within another 5-10 hours of this game, I'm pretty much just going to know where all the auras happen. Brimstone Needle. Now I'm taking damage this turn. I'll get the Phantom Strike back into hand. That's the Aura of Weakness. Pop directly above us. Phantom Strike comes into hand. Saving us a draw. Should we have otherwise wanted to use a draw to pick that up? It's just Phantom Strike, Wall of Mist, right? Phantom Strike, defend, Wall of Mist. I'm ready to kill the backliner if I need to. Okay, that was always an option. Sulfuric Barrier goes out front. We throw a guide. We do find the Absorb Soul. Take that perma HP, thank you. Pop another guide. And then Quicken. You can take that damage. If I attack with Rage, you get 10 extra HP on where you currently are. This goes to 35 damage. 35, 14. So 10, 35, 14's 40. No, we're short. There's not too many other things I can do with the turn, though. Can't really defend for a huge amount. Not really going to get healing in the next hand either. Maybe I just defend as best I can and then do the Phantom Strike here. Kind of has to be, right? I'm fine ending this fight on low HP. I expected to. Let's Kappa Study to begin with. Definitely Windfall. About a Fate Weave. Okay. There's your murder.
This is wasting my time.
Ooh, an explosive pigment, you say? I really want to stand there and pop that. I mean, look, I could stand one space further over, or I could just do it here. One space further over is actually a lot worse because of all of those blocks. Very well, thank you. All right, now it's time to spend as much money as I possibly can, and then we use the Radiant Hearts to heal back up to 20 HP. Unless I think I can survive another fight before doing that. I don't think I can. Also, I don't think I'm able to get all the way up to that Crumbling Mask and the 2 normal battles down here as well. I don't have to do all of the normal battles. They're usually efficient to do for the sake of the gems, though. Okay. Enemy loses 5 power this turn, draw a card. The upgraded version, enemy loses 5 power this turn, draw 5 cards. Making enemies lose power is defense. Sometimes it's incredible defense. Is it good enough to justify right now? With Aurora's Promise in the deck, it would be a lot easier to justify, but I don't even know if I can afford Aurora's Promise right now.
If you say so.
I'll take it. Hard pass. Aurora is not our damage engine. It would take so much investment in her right now to make her my damage engine that I would kill the run. Hard pass on this one too, I think. Unless I just want to get a Glowworm. If I could give Glowworm Retain, that'd be kind of cool too, actually. Sifa does do giant hits, so Glowworm is not...
Is it a frog?
Glowworm's not nothing, actually. It might even be something instead. We'll take Flesh Weave, definitely. Talent tiers unlocked. Wayfarer. Whenever you use a brush, reveal 2 adjacent tiles at random. Vaults of Wisdom can be visited twice. Really wish I got that slightly earlier. Damage from allies. Inflicts 1 bleed. Aurora doesn't really deal that much damage. Okay. Let's go Gauntlet of Might on Aurora, Bloodfire Mask. Sorry, on Sifa, Bloodfire Mask also on Sifa. And then I think I actually go Savage Fang instead of the Mighty Ruby right now. Of Wisdom can be visited twice. Honestly, I don't think that's actually what it is for us. Damage from allies inflicts a bleed, neither. I think we're just going to take our 2 adjacent tiles at random. I am actually... Like, I've been looking for something else that wants to go in the opening hand instead, but I'm actually feeling pretty good about the Brimstone Needle with the Savage Fang as well as the Blinding Topaz in it. One of the biggest reasons behind that is the fact that it is 10 rage immediately. Costs us 10 HP. But it's 10 rage immediately as well. Okay, do I have any other... I have a Vault of Wisdom down here. Should have visited that slightly earlier. Didn't think I did. Fill the pot, Flood, Intimidate. Does Intimidate go in here? Do I get another Flood in here? Is that actually how desperate I am for defense right now? I haven't found any in Trenches, which I was really hoping to find a bunch of. There's they're common cards for Sifa. I wanted to find in Trenches and I wanted to find Sulfuric Barriers. We found a Sulfuric Barrier. We haven't found in Trenches. Although we did find Sturdy Shell, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't mean to be like, oh, we didn't get the right things, GG, kind of thing, you know? But if we're not getting other sources, maybe heavily investing in Flood is exactly what we need to do. Because next floor, the AoE and multi-strikes get potent.
Let me show you my moves.
Okay. All right. Now we use 2 Radiant Hearts to try and get some HP back, and then go back out on the Stalk. see what we can do over here. Floods are going to be great in this fight. Immediately use Windfall. I'll Fate Weave. We're putting a Flood back atop the deck 100%. Yeah, it's fine. I retain energy per turn. I don't need to use the Kappa Study this turn. I do need to have Flood next turn. I guarantee it. Of course. That drew a card. I forgot about the Bloodfire Mask I just got. Gain an energy, draw a card. Whenever you take the first damage each fight with this character. Maybe I actually just try and kill the Fugu immediately here. That might actually be the way we go about this. Let's Phantom Strike. Throw that out and then Guide. Okay. Then I'll go for a Spinning Blade. And then the Guide. Really? We can't find Absorb Soul in and amongst these? I know it's here. We'll kill you next turn if we need to. I'll use Flesh Wave. Of course. Aurora's Promise in the opening hand would have been pretty good there too. Couldn't have known I was going to get a huge amount of draw though. Yep. Absorb Soul is even set up already to kill you. I've absolutely got your number, pal. Drain Strength's going to be a good setup for next turn as well. Could use Glowworm to set up for the Phantom Strike, which we will do. There you go. 38 damage from that crit. That's a lot of incoming damage, so we should either kill you or hope for more floods. Brimstone Needle will actually deal 10 life to us again. Which hurts. But it probably sets up for lethal. Rage is 28. I really wish I could just drain strength on you right now, but if I do that, well, reduction of 8. And then Sulfuric Barrier afterwards, so 14 on 13, 27, reduction of 8, and the incoming damage 16 by 2. Actually, we could end up ahead doing that. So I'll drain your strength, and Sulfuric Barrier. So I still take damage this turn, however... it only helps if I do get down to Absorb Soul, which I didn't manage to. So instead, I'm going to have to defend my way back to the front line, then quicken my way back to the back line, then use the Phantom Strike for lethal on that 20.
Time for some tea.
I mean, did I come in with 22 HP? 21 HP, I think? Also dealt 20 damage to myself in that fight. Like, Sifa is doing a lot of self-damaging stuff right now, but it's also providing them defense, so, you know. Yeah, no. I mean, look, an Imperial Ink is damned useful if I do want to try and make my way up there. Do I think I can? No. That's not a... It's a no. I do not think I can. I really want it though. Extra energy is so big. So it'd take us 4 to get there, and then it'd explode, and then it'd make 1 space up there. And then it explode again, and then I'm still 2 spaces away from the crumbling mask, save the brush that I get from the elite battle. That is to say, without the brush I get from the elite battle. You know what actually might be the most efficient thing? Using this Imperial ink here. Wait, here. This is 4 spaces down and then 4 spaces up to get to this other normal battle. And in order to get to that normal battle in the first place, it's just a precision ink here. And then a brush. I actually think I am going to do this. Ooh, that's a great space to have discovered there. Alright, normal battle. Don't destroy me. I mean, look, this is about combo casting this fight, so I think we'll be okay on this one. Healthiest enemies in the back line. Guide. Defend into another guide. Let's flood to the front line, then quicken my way back to the back line after it. I'll probably want to end the turn with a glowworm. So something like Absorb Soul, Rage, and then set the glowworm up on the frontliner. Next turn I draw Phantom Strike and the frontliner takes 75 damage. Well, as long as I can get my way to the back line, which I totally can. Flood my way back to the back line. Yeah, 80 damage. Seems good enough. We'll deal out with a Flame Blast, move my way back to the front line, get a bit more rage on this character again. Definitely want to try and cap this fight with the Absorb Soul if possible. Obviously need to use my Dissolve to dissolve his Flesh Weave. Well, I'm taking damage this turn. Unless I kill. So I will kill. There's no way I can avoid... Yeah. Well, I mean, Aurora... No, but Aurora takes the damage, and then this is piercing damage. This will go past Aurora to the back line if Aurora doesn't take all of the damage. So we have to kill.
Well done.
Thank you, Aurora. That's huge. Rune of Sight, what do you say?
Interesting.
Contiguous with my current world, also gives us a Radiant Heart. I like it, I like it. There's no way. I really, really, really want to do this with like a 19 in the middle, but... Wait, hang on. If I get like a 4 or something like that, I can probably do that. Let's take the Super Rune of Sight before we do anything else. See if it gives us any direction. Weak. Take this Radiant Heart, continue moving onwards. Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's just giving us information about space that does not actually have anything in it, as far as we're concerned, right? Because we can't really afford to utilize it at all. Mighty Ruby is very close to purchasable. I'll take it as soon as I can. Or do I take Aurora's Promise? As I get more draw in the deck, Aurora's Promise gets more important also. I should take this battle before I do anything. Ah, yes, this fight. I know this fight. Brimstone, hit that target. Okay, Rage is now 10 damage. Would actually get me into angry territory. And then Phantom Strike is lethal on a target if I do it that way. Okay, we'll do it that way. Rage hits the front line. Phantom Strike's now lethal on the second. And I should drain strength. I should also sulfuric. I'll drain strength. Because I was otherwise going to take damage this turn, so it's a heal 2 different ways there. There's the Absorb Soul. Good to see it. Start off with the Windfall. Absorb Soul Phantom Strike is 37. So I can Phantom Strike you. Guide. Then Quicken, setting up the Absorb Soul kill. Also getting 2 stacks of the On Fire triggered off of us. 14 incoming against this. I mean, it's 14 and 6 as well, so it's 20 incoming actually. We then pop Guide again. I do need to make sure that I'm always doing something useful here. I mean, Aurora could totally take the damage in the front line and everything would be fine about that. And accordingly, Aurora will. And then I'm also looking to Absorb Soul on the second target. Okay, I rage my way forward. Then I'll flood my way backward. At the end of each time the hero in this position takes... On Fire should not be behind? On Fire is not a thing that should be able to go to the back position. It stays in the position, not on the character. What? Quoi? ¿Por qué? Alright, defend into guide. Gosh. Okay, so it did still deal it to the front line. It's just it's visually showing on the back line here for some reason. 2 cards left in the deck. One of them's Absorb Soul. Hopefully we get that one. Of course. I'll Sulfuric Barrier my way back to the front line. Get a Windfall out there. Glow a Worm about it as well. I mean, look, we've got more rage on Sifa for following fights as well. Ultimately, this has been a very good fight. Wow, that's actually going to give 7 rage, which gets us over the limit. Rude. We should just have 1 less. I mean, yeah, we healed up a lot out of that fight. Gotta be happy with that. Royal Ink. Look, if anything is going to get us there, it's going to be a Royal Ink. So start from here, 5 spaces out, use a pigment there. Leaves us 1 space away. From here, 5 from the bottom. Gets us there. And then that would, again, leaves us 1 space away. Although this does give us that Crumbling Mask. Sorry, not that Crumbling Mask. It gives us the Vault of Wisdom. And Vaults of Wisdom do still matter to us. Quite a lot, in fact. Actually, yeah, I think I will try from this side. Nice. Because then when I get there, the brush, the final brush, that is to say from this elite fight, gets us this line of stuff and the Crumbling Mask. That's just too far. Okay, we do get a second elite fight. We got an extra space here just randomly from the Wayfarer. Couldn't have counted on that. If I'm gonna buy a bunch of stuff, it should be... I can't buy that many things. I'm gonna have to be very picky in these Vaults of Wisdom. Energy is a problem for us. Can I take a second windfall? No. Not yet. Not yet. Throws the balance of the deck off in favor of glue just a little too much for comfort. Hate Seed. Ally aggressive. Whenever a hero takes damage, Hate Seed gains spirit equal to the damage taken. If I could somehow get that out really early, like before the Brimstone Needle, we're in a great position. But even if I can't, it's still so good. We do take Hate Seed.
Perhaps.
Hard pass on this. I'm being picky just because I don't want to take a ridiculous amount of damage every time I just draft things constantly, you know? Okay. I know I literally just turned the other one down, but I think we will take Aurora's Promise. God, I really want that Mighty Ruby. We could end up fighting the Yakapult right now. I have to take the Mighty Ruby right now. Has to go in Spinning Blade.
Very well.
Because if we end up finding the Yakapult and I don't have a powerful AoE card at all in the deck, this is probably worth rolling that Radiant Heart before we go in. Good. We do have Hate Seed in the opening hand, which means I do need to play Hate Seed as well as Brimstone Needle. I'll get an energy back after doing that as well, and I'll be in Rage. I was not expecting to get extra energy as well, though. This recomplicates the rest of the turn. I wanted to just roll Flesh Weave for a giant amount here. But honestly, like, Glowworms on the backline and Flame Blast seems pretty reasonable. This isn't the Yakapult, this is the Rokoan War Machine. Killing the frontliner is pretty good here too. Flame Blast is going to be able to do that after I use my crit for something else. Yeah, I think I'm laying Hex on the backline and just drawing my way through the deck. There's that Spinning Blade. I have no more self-damage to cast. So we just throw Spinning Blade. Flesh Weave and Drain Strength probably. Just get the two cards out of the deck that I'm not going to want in the near future. Unless I just want to put Glowworm on the enemy, but... is that going to amp the Hate Seed? I don't know if that would amp the Hate Seed, actually. Be interesting to find out. And then I'm Swapsy Dopson here, because if the debuff is anything, and I don't even know what it's going to be, if it's anything except Aura, I do want it on Aura. Hey, get him, Aurora. Let's start out with a Phantom Strike and then Guide. Okay, Rage and then Guide. Sulfuric Barrier definitely needs to be in the next cycle. So does Kappa Study. So how do we handle this? The only way I can get Kappa Study in the next cycle and Sulfuric in the next cycle is by playing Sulfuric right now and then using Fate Weave to put Kappa Studies in the top of the next cycle. Unfortunately, it deprives of both of these floods. Oh, God. And of Guide? I can't be denied Guide. Guide is so much draw. Fine. I will then Quicken and Aurora, you attack. Actually, you know what? No, I should... I've got to remember I do have the Fairy of Flute. I'm not planning a turn ahead of time a lot of the time here, and I need to be. Okay. Get me mad. Get me all good, hot, and bothered here. Phantom Strike 38. I mean, I do think that just goes against the backliner. Flame Blast is almost enough to kill this Recon Shieldmate. But let's see what we get. Brimstone Needle. Exactly what I was hoping for. We use the Brimstone Needle to kill the backliner, as well as gain a power, which then makes the Flame Blast capable of killing this target for us. And then I'm going to wrap up with a Flood. Absolute beauty. Glowworm, Phantom Strike. Absorb Soul isn't going to be able to do this. Spinning Blade, 26. And then the Absorb Soul for 20. No, I can't use that for a heal here. Can I survive if I don't? That is to say, don't kill the enemy here. Nope. I'm gonna give you the Glowworm, and then I'm gonna cast Spinning Blade rather than Phantom Strike, just to see. Yeah, so it's doubling the first hit and then not the second. That makes sense. And then the Hate Seed kills. What is... There's one critical strike interaction that doesn't work that way, but... I've just got to jettison that from my mind, because otherwise it's just going to poison the way I think about every critical strike interaction forever, and I'll be confused about all of them. Forever. Alchemists are revealed on the map and free. Hang on. Does that count as not buying anything then? Spending gold. I'm spending 0 gold in an alchemist. Does that count? Oh my god, there's another... Oh god. I really want to get to both of them, but I'm only able to get to one of them. 8 there. Never mind, I'm able to get to both of them now. Entrench was some of the defense I was looking for earlier. Is it still necessary?
If you say
Yes.
so.
Okay. This one's discovered alongside the fewest new tiles. Hey, we do actually find something pretty useful there also. I need to see. Spend 0 gold in order to transmute. Are you going to spend gold? Replacing a strike's not awful. I haven't bought Aurora's Promise yet. Oops. More self-damage or more self-healing, both on Sifa, are quite good. These individual defends are now very, very, very inefficient. They're seldom played, even. So I think I do transform one of those. Sifa, what are you missing right now? I think it's just the sulfuric barrier. You take it, you just take it and be happy about having it. Cast that in melee. Devil's Rest draw a card if you have 0 rage. Extremely uncommon unless I've already just used my rage, which actually happens most turns, which means Devil's Rest is actually quite common. Draw 2 cards instead, and then it will also attack the leading enemy with damage equal to the draw pile, because it having Clash Zone or Heroic Emblem doesn't really make too much sense here. Maybe. I'm gonna try it. Honestly, it's because I've never taken the Shard of Hunting before. Although, man, this is just a heavy upgrade to a defend, turning into a 0 cost gain 7 block and 7 rage.
Interesting.
Devil's Rest also draws 5. This is a important part of the consideration as well. It draws 5 in combo when we're enraged. So when we're enraged, it's actually a really, really good target for us as well. Now, Nardum. Aurora's is 20 away. I have 25 cards in the base deck. So we get 12 after the next fight. As long as we get 8 normal natural gold generation, we're decent. Even if we don't, popping the brush here gets us the maximum amount of spaces we can. That's actually why I use the ink to get this alchemist down here. And then we'll go to this alchemist. And then maybe find some gold along the way. Spending 0 at the alchemist did not cost us money. Good to know. Good to know. I can't use this radiant before the fight because I need to do the fight, then go do all this, then go buy Aurora's Promise, then use the Radiant Heart just before the boss fight to have us in the best available position for there. All right.
Let's get crazy.
Rapala. Whoa! Again, Hate Seed in the opening hand. If Hate Seed's constantly in the opening hand, I mean... I'll throw Glowworms, actually. Wait. Do I do that now or after the Brimstone? That is the unit in the front enemy line takes 8 damage whenever they play a card, which is real rough. But since it's not a weaken, I probably could. Or I could just double the Flame Blast right now before that debuff goes down. I like that too, actually. Then I'll hold an energy for next turn. 31 incoming. We have the Aura of Confusion. The hero in this position takes 5 damage whenever they play a card. So let's start with the obvious ones. Okay, never mind. We're not going to the back. I was really hoping we would. Let's use a Sulfuric Barrier as well as Hex here. Good. Blood now moves Aurora to the front line, so now I can actually cast some of my stuff here. Let's use Flesh Weave. Throw the Phantom Strike out there. Then do I drain strength? Leave myself in the front line for the end? I think so. Actually, I have a lot of access to draw next turn. I can probably guarantee to kill next turn if I take less damage this turn, but I want more healing on Sifa. But, I mean, Sifa takes less damage this turn. That is effective healing, right? Okay, I'm actually going to end. The damage dealt there was good for the Hate Seed. Perfect. I'm going to use a Spinning Blade from the back line. I'm supposed to set up for a 0-cost guide. Alright, it's combo. Of course it wasn't going to do that. Okay, I'll use guide. Taking 5 damage on Aurora, unfortunately, but it also does buff the Hate Seed. Now let's Devil's Rest. I'm running out of ways to put Aurora forward. Sorry, to put anyone else in head of Aurora, rather. Ahead of Aurora, rather. Sorry. So here it's got to be Wall of Mist, then Quicken. Aurora goes all the way down to 1 HP. Thankfully, can heal all the way back up and instantly does. And now I need to use... I mean, I'm just fishing for damage effects, right? Kappa Study first. Okay, we did find Windfall, thank heck. We also found Entrench, which was a really good setup card for then the guide I want to play. I mean, Brimstone Needle Absorb Soul does kill the enemy this turn, but do I end up taking more or less damage as a result of it? Let's use Fate Weave, drawing some more cards. Wish I had one more energy this turn now. I get to leave this fight in rage at the absolute least, so maybe Brimstone Needle is cast just for the AoE at the start of the next fight. Clashstone Melee, nice. Quite usable runes, sorry. Gems we're getting here constantly. Honestly, Phantom Strike being castable every single turn for free is nice, but is it our priority? I don't know if that's our priority. Okay. Rune of Sight, find something contiguous or nothing good. Nothing good, nothing good, nothing good. Okay, that wasn't particularly good anyway. Alchemist, we will transform. I do want some more draw in this deck as well, and I think I could easily get rid of one of those floods now. At the start of your turn, the back hero gains power equal to Triton Trainer's spirit value. That's way too slow. I actually don't want any of these. Honestly, it's probably just Aurora's trick with a Focus Prism in. Like, out of these. What am I going to do with a Hailstorm? No damage? I mean, do I want Aurora to be able to force herself to the front line more consistently? Sure. Then final purchase. Take Aurora's Promise. A talent tier has been unlocked at the start of turn 5. The heroes gain 3 power. Honestly, pretty relevant. At the end of each turn, if Sifa is leading, he gains 5 rage. Also pretty relevant. The leading enemy has -2 power. Also actually pretty relevant. Start of turn 5. The heroes gain 3 power. I'm going to get to turn 5 less consistently, ideally. And end fewer turns. I think I'm going to have the leading enemy do less damage to us. Now, having absolutely sucked this floor dry, we'll pop 1 Radiant Heart and go to the boss fight. I should probably, at this point, I'm waiting until next floor because guide might have, like, there might be a scholar's gem next floor, and I want that extra slot in guide for it, possibly. But maybe I just throw the focus prism into the Aurora's trick as well. Maybe I put it into, no, Aurora's Promise wants something like, you know, put it atop the deck anytime you cast it. I think I'm holding on to both of these for things that I may find next floor. That could theoretically happen, but in the worst case scenario, I do want this for guide. All right. Hate Seed comes out with 11 instead here. Yep, that's what we do. 100%. Follow up the guide. Let's use a Brimstone Needle. The front line's eventually going to die to the Hate Seed here. You gain power when anything dies. Maybe I don't need to try and strike either of them just yet. I do have an AoE left in the deck. This is a combo as well. And in fact, it'll even draw 2 cards. And deal 16 damage to the frontliner. Nice. Unfortunately, I don't have enough. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have enough to be able to play this guide here. I want it to be able to draw 2 cards. It then wants to put itself back into our hand, but recall that putting itself back into our hand does not count against our maximum hand size of 10. It's only drawing counts against your maximum hand size of 10. Putting things into your hand from generation effects as well as retrieval effects avoids that limitation. No, both of those chumps are going to die this turn. Because we need to start setting up for the ability to have the Hate Seed start attacking the backline, because it's actually going to be a huge amount of our damage here. Gain some rage there. Use the guide. Draw 2 cards. Guide comes back into hands. Wait, I already cast guide that turn. Yes. Yes, guide doesn't need to come back into hand because I already cast guide that turn. Okay, it was all good. Worked fine. Aurora's trick, I mean, sure. Pop out a Fate Weave as well. Aurora's Promise, eh? Draw a card. Do I want to draw that card? No, I want to draw 5 cards. Get into rage before doing so, then spinning blade. Okay, no, we're actually just going off as hard as we possibly can this turn. Which, usually whenever you can do it, is probably the right thing to do. It's not excess energy used there at all, so it's fine. Let's Absorb Soul. 5 left in the draw pile. Phantom Strike is left in the draw pile, but I don't think I use Glowworm here. I think I just hold on to my extra energy. Because we've got more draw in the draw pile than we have energy gain. So we should start out with Kappa Study. Unless we're trying to get any of these to cycle, but I don't think we are. Kappa Study. Fate Weave's good, but I should be sure that I'm not using any other draw this turn before I use it. I'm not. It's Fate Weave. This... Honestly, anything could go in the next hand. It's not really going to matter too much. And then Rage and Flame Blast. Honestly, I might actually need Flesh Weave out instead. I'm taking the 7 HP here. I can just see in my mind's eye a future where this enemy does enough damage on one turn that suddenly everything's screwed. And I don't want that world to come to fruition. Okay, I'll Glowworm just to set up the combo for Devil's Rest. Windfall seems correct. Follow up with a Sulfuric Barrier. That's a pretty hard debuff that's being placed on the front line. Sure, Aurora, you take it, whatever it is. That was my hate seed. You butt. You absolute butt. All right. Start out with a Hex here. Gotta follow up the guide. So rude. Okay, we definitely use Aurora's Promise. I want a Brimstone Needle Spinning Blade before I cycle the deck. $13 4 times. A lot of damage. Follow up with the guide. Drawing our way into another copy of Hex. Love to see it. Aurora's Promise again if I wanted it. I'll quicken my way to the back line, then use Aurora's Trick to invert those two again. I'd love to be able to hold the Aurora's Promise here at all, but instead I think I will just hold my 5 and move on. Unique things like eat your enemy's minion, things like that. Those should also probably have unique intents. They do seem to be iterating upon the intent system at the moment, so keen to see where they end up with that. Let's go Kappa Study next. Okay, Rage is a reorientation. Sorry, reorientation for us to get back to the front line. Follow up with a Phantom Strike as well as a Spinning Blade for as much damage as I can get out there, and then it's just about defending. And throw that, defend. I want to take some damage. No, Flood. I mean, Glowworm's Brimstone Needle is lethal here. As well as almost, but not quite, getting us to Rage.
Thank you for your help.
All right. 2 hours and 8 minutes. I was intending to sit down and record like 5 episodes of this today, maybe like 3. But it's feeling more like it might be 1. Oh, it's such a long series. All of this hero's cards gain Retain. Whenever this hero deals 20 damage in a single hit, inflict 5 bleed. Wow, that's actually really good as well. The Reap Huntdown, honestly, I don't know if this is that good. Because it's still shuffled into your deck, not into your hand. Like, you don't really combo off unless you've got a ridiculous amount of draw. We do have a ridiculous amount of draw, but I still feel like I'm probably better served by just getting the 5 bleed guaranteed to whatever enemy I'm fighting on turn 1, and then basically every turn after that as well, because that's how much power we get.
Very well.
Take a Violent Rejuvenation right there. Man, if that was just the Kappa Study, I'd take it. Although, look, I do not interpret that as I am complaining about finding another perfect. I love the perfect diamond right there. Crackthorn up in the top right. Each time you play 5 cards in a single turn, deal 10 damage to a random enemy. There's also an Ogre Club on the other side. Whenever this hero inflicts 20 damage with a single attack, inflict weak. I want to get that Ogre Club absolutely as soon as I possibly can. Oh, the Alchemist is sitting up there. Nice. So 4 in 2 different directions. That could be used here. And then a single... Actually, that's really good. Although I have to get past that normal battle first. Okay, so before we do any of that stuff, what do you got, Adam? Okay. Fodder, Whipcrack. We've seen those before. Swords of the Fallen. Gain an energy. I do like gaining an energy. Phantasmal Might's available here, as well as Familiar. Again, a bit much. Flame of Ignis. Whenever a card grants you energy, gain an energy. I think this is whenever a card grants you any amount of energy, gain 1 energy, rather than whenever it grants you a single energy, gain a single energy. Although, to be fair, I have not checked my assumption on that. So I am assuming that it would be working with Windfall as well as Swords of the Fallen, but might not. I don't know. Man, a lot of these are really good. Hunting Scope in particular, the first hit each turn deals double damage. Obviously, Blood Diamond, attack the leading enemy for damage equal to your block. Because sometimes after a combo turn, we do a lot. Meteor Shard, the card's attacks hit all enemies. Honestly, putting that into the Phantom Strike seems really good. Right, and then Hunting Scope, Phantom Strike, Hunting Scope. And, oh man, oh, that's so good. I need to get the money to do that. Where am I going to get the money to do that? There's going to be so much money to do that. I'm just holding off on purchases for a really long time, I think. Although, there are some things that I can do. Like this Hex should probably be 0 costed. Because it's draw. So sometimes, like... Let's pop the perfect diamond in something before I start thinking about the rest of it. I do actually kind of need to get to the front with Sifa slightly more commonly than I am. So putting this on an attack wouldn't be a bad idea. Or Hex. Actually quite like that.
Very well.
Now, I'm unlikely to find another legendary gem on this floor, so I think that Guide drawing another card and discarding a card. The problem is now I need to worry about the rest of my hand size before I can play Guide, which is not really what you want with the Guide. Oh, maybe I hold off on that for a second too. Make that card free with Malay.
Interesting.
No, it's too much power to turn down just doing that right now. Okay, let's take normal battle. I'm feeling good about the direction here. I'm feeling like we've solved each problem as they arose. So I do want to do some draw here. We'll start off with Aurora's Trick. Setting up for a Kappa study. I'm extremely glad that I did that, how I did that, because we got exactly why I did that. Which is to say, Aurora's Promise, defend my way back to the front line. No more energy expenditure this turn, thank you. Windfall. Actually, if I can also find Hate Seed here, oh my god. Of course, that's fine. We can't have everything. That'd be too much thing. Do I hit you for a giant Phantom Strike this turn? Yep. I forgot that was going to draw. I shouldn't have done that before Fate Wave. There you go. You already got 10 bleed on you. I think I will just hold on to my 6 energy here, even rather than playing a strike. Welcome back, Phantom Strike. Hex is a pretty good setup for Guide here. Alright, Guide. Draw, draw, draw. Now I have to discard one. Let's get a Flood out of here. We get Guide back to the hand. And then I'll use the combo card on Sifa. Getting a draw on a card played. 7 cards. Okay. Guide. Draws 3. We'll discard a card and another Flood here, I think. Guide doesn't come back to hand because we already played it this turn. I haven't got a bunch of self-damage I can take before the Hate Seed here, but I could take individual damage after the Hate Seed at the absolute least. Somehow I feel like the enemy's not really going to care too much about that, though. Let's give you Glowworms. I mean, I can follow up with Rage, deal 24 damage to the enemy, get myself into... into Enraged. Attack from there. Well, actually, no, I could do that with the Spinning Blade. Yeah, we do it with the Spinning Blade. Wait, hang on. Can I win this turn without the Spinning Blade? I can. Very easily? Okay. Sorry, not without the Spinning Blade. Without expending my Rage. Yeah, that'll do it. Nice. Okay, okay, okay. And an explosive pigment as well? Oh, baby. You really shouldn't have. We get a narrative, we get access to normal battle, we get 2 Radiant Hearts, we get a Precision Ink, we get a Royal Ink, and we get a bunch of gold. Now that is a map exploration right there. Let's hold on to those 2 bad boys. 5, hang on. Crackthorn's really far. 5 up there, it's not even a straight shot. 5... No, but I want to come down from this direction because then I can actually get all these along the way. So I want to go like 5 Link and then use this as how I continue exploring out there and then I don't worry about this. It's actually pretty good. Seems really reasonable, I mean. Actually? Like actually, we're going to be doing that right now. Let's get this on you. The narrative. Do I want to do the narrative first? Yes. So you can participate in the chanting in order to get a mode of energy. Gain 2 energy, it then dissolves. We do hold that energy forever, and we do want to play more cards out of hand. I mean, it's nice. Or we can ask the Lund ones for an extra help, rather. Create an extra Farrier well on the map. Which at the moment is actually an extra energy every single turn. And it's actually contiguous with our currently extant map. Love it. So pleased.
Yes.
Okay. I'd love to find another one as well, to be clear. So, Royal Ink, 5 in a straight line. Then I'll Precision Ink there. Okay, and then we take this fight. Then if I use 2 Precision Inks to get here, and then use 1 more brush, I get the Alchemist, I get Crackthorn. Just costs us going to this normal battle. Start out throwing Windfall. Kind of mind Aurora's trick to the front line before I cap a study here. Flame Blast, Flesh Weave. Oof. Not the hand we were looking for. I can use Hex for one more draw and then Brimstone for one more draw thereafter. No, I wish I'd done that in the opposite order. Actually, I could have drawn 5 cards this turn if I used the Brimstone before the Hex. Oops. Oops. Start out by throwing that giant hit. Follow up by throwing another. Do I continue attacking? Do I even continue casting? No. No, we don't. We get our Phantom Strike into this hand. One of the reasons I didn't cast the Sulfuric Barrier last turn is because Devil's Rest is in the deck, and it's now going to draw us 2 cards as a direct result. Let's start with Flood, just to set up the combo for Devil's Rest, because I was going to be doing that either which way. Okay. Let's Fate Weave. There's Hate Seed, I guess. Drop the Glowworm back atop the deck. Let's rage our way to the front line, play the Entrench for free, use a single Hate Seed, and Flood thereafter. So Aurora's actually going to take some damage this turn, which means that Hate Seed's getting even hatier. Spinning Blade was always going to be our kind of like primary opportunity to kill the back. That was a great choice of what to discard there. Thank you, game. Start with the guide. No, we're not defending here. Let's get rid of Flood. Let's use Aurora's Power before Spinning Blade. Setting up for another guide. Drop Aurora's Trick also. One Brimstoned Needle. Clicking our way back to the front line, use a Glowworm, and set up perfect block. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, whenever this hero inflicts 20 damage in a single hit, inflict 5 bleed. Whenever this hero deals 20 damage in a single attack, inflict weak. The enemy got 5 bleed, and they got weak there from an attack from the Hate Seed. However, that would say that the Hate Seed's attacks count as an attack of this hero, which means they count as an attack. Do they not count for critical hit, though? Because it didn't trigger critical hit. So is there a difference between an attack and a hit? Yes, there is in this game, right? An attack is the resolution of a full card. A hit is one instance of damage. So this counts as an attack, but not a hit. And Multi-Strike's first instance of damage counts as a hit, but not an attack. If there is consistency. Again, you know, it's big call to make, but there definitely is. But I have to try and understand it logically. Otherwise, it's impossible for me to actually play a game. 22. Crit. Should have used this sulfuric barrier first. Would have got myself to 24. No blank. Good. Take Crackthorn. And now I've discovered the area I was looking at. I'm happy to start using Runes of Sight. Fine. Finding a lot of Radiant Hearts about. If we need to heal, we can. I'm still feeling a little draw light. Fine. A free glowworm, I guess. You know, not ideal, but happened. Ah, yeah. Let me set a course immediately for that tiny little speckle of gold over in the distance. Seems like it'll be appropriately nothing. Let's take the hunting scope first. Go find ourselves some more inks. Okay, can I get a crit available here? Wait, Devil's Rest could be used for a lot of draw. Explain how. Rage can be exchanged for cards in hand. Ooh. Pop that hate seed bad boy out there. Give him a brimstone needle about it. I'm just trying to get some cards out of hand here. Lady Aurora's Promise. Also, we're definitely going off this turn. Devil's Rage draws 5 cards. Sets up for Guide to be able to draw 3, drop a card as well. That kind of stuff. But we'll start out by giving you critical hit on our next attack. And then I'm just gonna get myself almost all the way to another Rage, because we do have Hex in hand, which could then form a lot of draw for us. Discard is definitely on Wall of Mist here. Pop the Windfall for extra energy. I mean, I guess Flesh Weave is a safe card to cast right now. That is to set up for another Guide. I know that I can discard the Defend as well. So I may be just trying to leave this fight with as much rage as I currently have, not actually trying to get more. Previous plan was to get more, though. Campus Study draws. Okay. I abandoned the previous plan. Die. $19. Hex you for the draw. Wait. Oh, Crackthorn killed. I was wondering. It's fine. I still got back to almost full HP though. Man, it's hard to tell where to really go with the rest of the map when we've already found, like, all of the obvious value placed around here. Some of the obvious value placed around here, to be fair, I should probably say instead. Okay. But I do want to explore as well. 4? Actually, the Noble Ink links us out to there. It's quite efficient. Actually, could also do the same coming down here. Well, it's going to be used in one of those two ways at the absolute least, and here is a pretty good position to then deploy a brush afterwards, just to discover some terrain. If we run out of enemies before we actually go to the boss, then the gem that makes the card deal damage to all enemies isn't going to matter anymore. And also, it may not matter at the moment. Definitely throw the entrench first. Now, this says the first hit each turn does double damage. So this will be 40 damage to each of you. Oh, no, wait, it's already demonstrating the extra damage on the card. Is it? Yeah, because Rage doesn't deal 18 by base. I really kind of want to try and find a crit before I do anything here, though. It's fine, I'll use Devil's Rest for a bunch of draw after this. We'll floor our way to the front line, because that actually zero costs the Devil Rest, and then makes enough space in hand to actually be able to draw all 15. Sorry, all 5 cards. Pop out an Aurora's Promise, knowing that we're just gonna smack the enemies about ridiculously this turn. Not really going to worry too much about the order of operations here. Kappa Study did not find any extra energy just yet, but it may still do with the guide. Definitely playing out Flash Wave. Seven cards in hand. There's the Glowworm. Wow, literally the bottom card of the deck is the card that I was trying to dig towards. That's how it happens, you know. That's how it happens. Constantly. Hmm. 16. All right. I'm just going to spread the damage a little bit here. Sure. Roar your way to the front line, quicken your way back to the back line. You're casting enough cards for the Crackthorn at least. Deck's done. I'm not certain exactly how well this is going to function against the Avatar of Mist. Still learning in that regard. Let's Kappa Study to see if I can get any more rage up before we go for the kill. I mean, I can fill up on rage and do the kill at the same time, even. Making the start of the next fight quite spicy. Not bad. Narrative Sight, what do you got?
I see.
Look, if you give me Radiant Heart as well as another Rune of Sight, you're more than welcome to do that as many times as you would like. Narrative. Yeah. Explore the building or run. A random hero loses 5 life. Draft a card for that hero. Nope. Explore the building. Yeah, I really would have liked to take Dragonfire a lot earlier on. We have 26 cards in the deck. I'd like to get 30, I guess. Honestly, it still might actually be Dragonfire. The others actually aren't as good as it right now. Sure. Oh, yeah, this is just continue exploring, continue seeing more cards, and you have to draft one every single time. If this dilutes my deck without giving me much draw, you know? So we're not going to do that. Doom. The next 666 attacks on an enemy are critical hits. Yes.
If you say so.
That'll come with us. Fate Weave, another Grim Siphon, and Flame Stoker. Don't want to spend 5 life on each character as well as the 25 for that Fate Weave there. No. Nope. Flame Lick. Definitely taking that. Charge, attack for 10, draw a card. Cast it for 0 cost, you're drawing a card. Cast it while you're enraged, draws 3 cards.
Useful, perhaps.
Extremely. It will be useful. Do not worry. I mean, showing me that that is an area devoid of value is also kind of good, I guess. Let's have a look at Nadim again, because I anchored pretty hard to the idea of getting the Meteor Shard, but I don't know if we're doing that anymore. Also, cards cost 8 for us right now. That's pretty good. When this hero blocks, rather, if your discard pile has at least 15 cards, gain 5 more block. Pretty minimal. Flame of Ignis. Obviously, like, Swords of the Fallen could totally make its way in here. Flame of Ignis would happily sit alongside it. God. Go to that Vault of Wisdom as well. We have 1 card in a deck of almost 30 that is called Aurora's Promise. I have no other way to control that card. If I take a second one, it's a lot easier to guarantee that I get them.
Is it a frog?
Boiling Blood at the start of each battle. Seifer gains 10 rage. Seifer also gains 10 rage at the start of each battle by casting Brimstone Needles, so that's pretty good. Amphibian Affinity. Start each battle with 8 frogs. There is also a Storyteller. I'm not going to take the Storyteller. We're going for Boiling Blood. I could have taken the Storyteller and it would have been fine. At this point, it's kind of a grudge against that specific Storyteller. Just told a really blue story in front of the wrong crowd, and, you know, you have the right crowd. I understand it, but, you know, read the room, Storyteller. Let's take a... There we heal there. And look, I'm definitely not going to need all of these Radiant Hearts, so let's go even further back up before we go out for another fight. Speaking of another fight, it's that one there, that one there, that one there. We'll go for the one that's connected. Interesting. We'll use Aurora's Purpose first. Like, I really want to just throw a giant Brimstone Needle and Doom and ha 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 ha. But the correct play here is definitely just throw the defend, then use Hex to draw 5 cards, and then go from there. Well, there's our Hate Seed. Kind of proof perfect of why we want to do it in that way. I mean, I still do want to Doom you. It's not unlikely I would just then kill it this turn after the Doom as well. Yeah, if I was gonna do that, it'd look a lot like that. But let's make sure we consider other lines of oh, fight's over again. I really gotta get better at noticing when that happens. 1, 2. 1, 2. Actually, 1, 2 explode is not bad from here either. It's also not good, evidently. Alright. We'll get into rage on our first turn here, definitely. Oh my god. Aurora's Promise in the opening hand. Just that being as common as it currently is so good for us. We do have a guide in this hand, so we do have access to draw. Also, I will make sure to use a glowworm first because I want to crit with this. I need to. So big. Alright, good. Oh, I'm dropping floods left, right, and center. They no longer mean anything to me. Guide again. Happily drop the wall of mist. Use the hex there. I mean, I wish I could crit on a crit, but that's not gonna work. Yikes. See, this is the problem. We got a lot of like survivability tools, but they're preventing the damage engine from actually really doing damage, you know? Alright, I'll pass. So now I'm looking for my AoE card. Hello? We found the AoE card. It's 22 for its first hit, but it won't be for its second. That is like, you know, attack all enemies for 22 twice. One of the reasons that it is so dislocated in my mind that only the first hit benefits from critical hit, only the first hit benefits from hunting scope, only the first hit, right? The delineation between hit and attack. The reason that it's so weird in my mind, or one of the reasons, is because it's anti-intuitive with the cards actually updating to show the effect that they would have. The obvious example is currently on board, right? This attacks for all enemies for 22 twice. You read this card, you assume 44. However, well, okay, actually here it doesn't even show it, that it would be dealing instead 33 because it's going to kill this enemy. Wait, then why doesn't it hit the Underground Brigand again then? Wait, hang on. Show me what's going on here. Wait. So an AoE card, the AoE hit, the first hit, the one that attacks all enemies, that hits all enemies, that strikes all enemies, only the impact that makes against the first target counts as a hit, as the first hit. The hit should totally be distributed. Come on, because otherwise, like that said, attack all enemies for 22 twice, but it attacks one of them for 22 once. Because it was 11 twice, actually, on that target. Now I just feel like I'm complaining. Let's just continue.
Is that it?
It is. The enemy could not stand up to any more damage. You do too much. Sifa, you do far too much. I mean, honestly, this is just exploit a unexplored area. That's what that says. Probably do it here, up to the middle. Just pop a brush up here too.
Interesting.
Interesting. I'd like to see the other elite. That's probably now worth 2 precision inks to get to. Alright, Vault of Wisdom. Choose a card to draw from your deck. Just choose exactly the right card at exactly the right time. Get that combo going.
I like
Sounds
this one.
good to me. Alright, and then we'll go for the Elite Battle. Get another brush. Use these 5 precision inks to try and get somewhere the brush is as effective as it possibly can be. Go for the boss. Collect our victory. Nap? Maybe. Seems like it probably is the order of things here for us. Ooh, baby. Okay. Let's think about this for a sec, because what we need is draw. I'll use Brimstone first, because this is about to draw a card. Let's use Quicken. I'm trying to set up for the Spinning Blade. Use Eureka. Honestly, the one that gets us through the most cards is a guide. Follow up with... I mean, honestly, Aurora's Promise should probably be played first because it saves the cost on this, which then saves the cost on this. Not really what I was looking for. Spinning Blade is now doing the 11 4 times to all enemies, though, so that's already in a pretty good position now. 8 seed, interesting. I think I will play the extra Aurora's Promise because I am going to play 8 seed. Probably not going to play it immediately, to be fair, but in general. Oh my god, look how far that shifted the screen. Also, I can't believe it. I'm turning the screen shake off. I'm sorry. I forgot that I don't even really notice it unless it gets really. But yes, I do try and have that option off wherever available. So it's now off here too. 8 seed, Dragonfire. Then Doom the backline, I guess. Glowworm, then nothing. Dooming the nothing has set up very well for this turn. Let's entrench and cap a study. Oof. We're really not finding draw. Draw. The 3 draw cards I was looking for right there. Not that they would have continued the turn for an incredible amount of time. Let's gain some range from that. A little bit more defense from there. Fine. This is the elite fight? I didn't think this was an elite fight, the Mecha Centipede, but I guess most of the time I ever get to see the Mecha Centipede, I'm probably already in a decent position against the Mecha Centipede. Not always, though. All it's going to take is dying one time to it to think otherwise. Alright, Glowworm. Brimstone Needle? For great damage. One more card. Actually, that'll work. Right? Yeah, and then you'll bleed. Nice. Yeah, it's the upgrades happening across the board, right? I feel like this is a really interesting fight, but because most of the time when I see it, like, I'm really powerful as well, I don't actually get to see that part. But I can see how, like this feels like it's kind of like the Flesh Inquit fight, right? Almost. For for my darkest dungeon-minded viewers out there. So that doesn't have to actually deal the damage to give you rage. It gives you damage. Wait. So that rage card does not give you rage if the damage is dealt against the enemy's block. However, if the enemy only has 1 HP and you deal 100 damage to them, you gain 100 rage. So it doesn't have to be actual, impactful, unblocked damage dealt. Because, like, an unblocked damage dealt would relate itself not to the damage stat of the card. It would relate itself to the amount of damage incurred as a result. Okay. Weird wrinkle. What? Drop of Echoes. When you play this, add a 0-cost copy of the card to your hand with no gems. I didn't know they could just drop legendary gems. Honestly, it wants to go in a draw card of some kind. That's it. 100%.
Interesting.
I mean, probably should have transformed a card before I did it, to be honest, though. Let's get another flood out of here. No. Actually, you know what? This is the only time I'm going to do it. We'll take the Triton Trainer. And the reason I'm going to do it is because in the store there is the Gem of Evolution to give 4 spirit to something. And I can take that. Wait, can I take that? The Flame of Ignis and the Sword of the Fallen? Do I need the Sword of the Fallen if I do that? No. Honestly, I really don't even need the Sword of the Fallen at all. Okay, we take the Gem of Evolution. That'll go into the Triton Trainer. We'll see exactly how much impact that manages to have. But to be clear, it's now 6 times more effective than it was going to be last time we saw it. Man, I am really tempted to try and just buy a bunch of cards here. 3 cards? Yeah, we take some damage to doing it, but we do get another talent, which could be relevant. One thing I'm actually also just quickly going to check is the achievements for the game. Because if there's an achievement that's just like, have 40 cards in the deck, then maybe I do that. Just doing a little bit of a cursory glance through here. No, does not appear to be the case. All right, cool. Attack the leading enemy for damage equal to your block. That wouldn't be a bad second thing to put into this sulfuric barrier. Although I do have a little exploration left in me. So let's do the little exploration left in me first. Okay, so the densest area I can use the brush in is like here. Oh god. That denies itself 3, and it has to deny itself 3 for my entry as well. So it's 13. Okay, not huge. Not much at all, in fact. I mean, do I just take the Ritual Strike?
Fine.
Another card in the deck for the kind of thing that I just intended to do. Sure. Now I'll go and collect all of the Radiant Hearts. And then my final visit to Nadim, sorry. And then the boss fight. All flows from there. Any others? Sorry about the whole map swerving feeling there. All right, Nottingham. Only costs 2 cards in the deck now. Fine. Feet of Fire. Whenever the heroes swap, see if it gains 3 rage. Whenever you dissolve a card, Aurora gains a power. At the start of battle, game 5 block, this effect. Yeah, I'm going to give Aurora a bunch of power. Now, it would actually be hilarious now if Aurora did have the Hailstorm. Because currently, does she even have the ability to use any of her power? Literally, no, not at all. She has no cards that actually attack. But that's fine. She can stand in the front line. So I will take the Blood Diamond and pop that in the Sulfuric Barrier, as aforementioned. Well. Beautiful. And then after all of that capitalism, we're feeling a bit bad. So we go for as many heals as we possibly can.
Sure, I'll use an extra one at the end. You know, just get over the line there.
I didn't use myself with any unspent gems, did I? I think I accidentally may have.
Oh well, that's a future problem for future Ryan.
This may be one of the best opening hands possible, to be clear.
I love that this is already 55 damage despite the fact that I've defeated 1 elite. Alright, Windfall.
I think we should probably follow this up with Hex for the 5 draw from that, and then decide what we want from Eureka after. Okay. What we want from Eureka, given our draw, is actually more draw. I really wish it wasn't more draw, but it does have to be. So we will get, because I wanted it to be Triton Trainer or Hate Seed, but we are going to have to do that to get the Kappa Study in hand instead. I need to free out space in hand for it.
Let's start critting you with all our damage as well.
Excuse me? Can you show me how much damage this is going to deal? 92? Oh yeah, double, but without having the rage already. Do want to gain more energy, but I can use rage for that afterwards. Okay, we'll start with the Brimstone Needle. Okay. Rage is now 20 energy. Oh, sorry, 20 rage, rather. Setting us up for Ritual Strike to be a bunch of extra energy. Let's get Auroras out there. Throw a Flame Blast and Dragon Fire, just making space in hand so that I can now Kappa Study, Kappa Study. Now, is that second Kappa Study in the discard? Yeah, that is constantly 0 cost. Good. I was wondering if this was going to be like it's 0 cost until you play it, or is 0 cost until it's out of your hand, or something like that. But it's not. It seems to be set. Good. Glad to see it. All right, Trench. There's the Triton Trainer. Also deals 10 damage courtesy of the Crackthorn. I mean, I should leave Flame Lick. No, I'm not going to be able to get in Rage again, am I? No, we'll use Guide first. Plus 3. Honestly, the Glowworms don't matter at all anymore. They're easy discard fuel. Sure, I'll play another Aurora's Promise, but it's not really going to have much time to really impact too much. Fate Wave. Then we use Devil's Rest to draw 2 cards. And that's all of the draw that I'm able to do. What? No, we got Flame Lick. I guess I'll Whip Crack to give that ally spirit. I wanted Hate Seed out. Hate Seed's one of the bottom 3 cards of the deck here. Of course it is. Of course it is. Phantom Strike. In with that blade, in with that one too. Then I flood, quicken my way back to the front line, and attack you for damage equal to our block as well. Great. But we crit on that hit too. Okay, so you take 60 bleed every turn now? I think I might be able to do this. We've got 7. We got the Triton Trainer to go off. We picked up a full 7 there. I end my turn. We clocked that in at almost exactly 3 hours there as well. We've completed Roguebook's Epilogue page level 9. Couple more unlocks for a couple more characters. We've finished all of our full party unlocks as well. We get Dark Knowledge. Choose 2 cards to draw from your deck. Lose 8 life. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about in terms of consistency. This card says lose 8 life. There is a gem that says take 5 damage, which actually loses 5 life. And then there are Sifa cards that say Sifa loses 5 life. But Sifa is the only person who can ever play that. So either all of them should say Sifa loses X life or just lose it. Just, you know. Split the timeline. Draw until you have 9 cards in hand. Discard 3 and put 3 on the top of the deck. Incredible. That's... oh my god, that's ridiculous. It does dissolve, which makes a whole bunch of sense right there. We got a lot of progression. We're going to be able to unlock any embellishment systems at the start of the next episode. But until then... Hang on. Let me just say that my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Roguebook. There is a playlist up in the top left corner. The series past, present, and future, as well as streaming on screen at the moment. The credits for the folks supporting the Republic over on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays at or above the $10 tier. Much appreciated to each and every one of you. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.